And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880. Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you here today. And thanks for joining us this weekend as May rolling along here. And real estate activity in Jackson and Josephine County, I'm telling you, just continues, Joe, to be pretty robust. Lots going on, a lot of activity, a lot of demand. It's the busy time of the year. I love it. I mean, it's fun now.
When was the last time you saw 60 or 70 new listings on our daily updates on the MLS page? And that was kind of an eye-opener for me just in the last 10 days or so to see some good days where we're getting a big influx of new materials. And we've expanded the MLS a little bit, but all that inventory is welcome.
Well, stats are always interesting. And anyway, we'll get into some of those along the route today as we talk with Kimberly London, who is the city, she's basically the City of Medford's building department. No matter what she says, she has been with us before. Today's show, by the way, is presented by the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors at roguevalleyrealtors.org. And what's interesting, first of all, you teach also you teach realtors what we talk about on this show, don't you?
Continuing education classes through RVAR.
And when you do that, what do you teach? I mean, what do you actually tell people?
A lot of the classes on due diligence and research. Yeah, researching items, disclosure laws and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, and those are all really, really big. And you also, what I've learned from you is the issues of permitting, building permits. And don't you think? I mean, it's really something that so many people.
I used to be a lot more scared about building permits and about that whole issue before we talked pretty thoroughly with Kimberly. It's not anything to be scared about in the city of Medford anyway.
No.
Well, no, it's nothing to be scared about. But the issues are: when do you need one? When do you not need one? How do you get one? What do you need one for? And how much do they cost? And we were joking, I think, last week on your behalf, by the way, Kimberly, we were saying that you're giving away different permits during the month, right?
Yes, we are.
Tell me what are those again?
Well, we were going to do a permit a week, and that was what I talked about last time when I was here. But we just said, you know what? Let's just do it for the whole month.
Perfect.
And make it easy. So for the month of May, you could get a backflow permit for free if you were thinking about doing your landscaping. The thing I wanted to point out also is the permits are good for 180 days. Mm-hmm. So if you know you're going to be doing it within the next 6 months, let's get your permit.
Yeah.
'Cause 6 months from now, nobody's going to do much when the rains and the wet and
a lot
the
of
mud.
People are thinking, oh, darn, you don't have to have it done this week.
Right.
You still have time to do it. Do the landscaping. So backflow devices, rain, water collection permits, photovoltaic permits for solar and rooftop units are available.
Yeah.
And $100 off of those permits for the electrical. We're basically waiving the electrical permit.
Yeah.
And
we thought last week that you should give away like a systems development charge.
That's out of my realm.
You thought that?
Yeah.
I thought you should talk to the city council about that.
I thought that would have been a really nice grand prize for the month. Somebody gets a free system development charge for something you want to do.
Wrong department. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so what's going on in terms of business right now within the building department? Because again, tell people, Kimberly, that building departments generally pay their own way, right?
We have to. We are enterprise fund. All the proceeds are from permit fees.
Okay.
The inspectors, the staff, even our portion of the rent for the structure. Yeah. Utility bills, all of that has to be paid through permit fees.
Okay, so
it's not general fund.
All right, so tell us what here we are. It is mid-May. Mm-hmm. You drive around Medford. There's everywhere. It seems like there's activity, some sort of construction going on. Seriously, when I was on the tour, the John L. Scott tour this week with Alice Lima, who's been on our show many times. And we're just saying, look at this as we're driving. Look at this. And so tell us what's going on, Kimberly, in terms of within the city of Medford right now in building.
Well, it's funny you asked, because this last month, statistics, we issued 642 permits in 1 month.
Okay.
That's the most for the year so far.
Okay.
642 permits.
And when you say 642 permits, these are all types.
All types of permits.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
Electrical, new construction, mechanical, retrofits, plumbing permits.
Because if a person say building a new house, right, you have to have an electrical permit and the different. So you got to get 2 or 3 permits from you at the same.
There's probably
right?
like 5 or 6 for
5
new
or
home
6.
construction because there's sidewalks, there's your sewer tap, there's your, you have to have
Okay.
your SDC in there, your park dedication fee. So for building department, there's building, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing permits. And then sometimes fire sprinklers, which are also free this month for retrofitting.
This is one of those times I wish Brad Bennington was sitting here and we would respond to all the permits, all the government fees and things that get added on to new construction. We talk about that all the time, right?
Yep.
And it's just part of the deal. I've come to be acceptance of that more so than I did before.
It's a hard middle ground to find for what the market demands and needs before it gets priced out of being able to create new properties and new developments, and what the city needs to support that development and organize it and keep it permitted and safe for everyone who use it and interact with.
Well,
with
let's face it, it obviously isn't hurting new construction because you just issued 600 of them in the month of April. My goodness!
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, it's not stopping entrepreneurs from doing this and businesses and people doing this.
And you mentioned the development and all the work and what we're seeing in downtown Medford, and really the economy is reflecting that elsewhere. Think of the cranes that we saw in downtown Los Angeles just over a month ago.
Yeah.
How many high rises are just rising up from downtown? Boy, there's some confidence in the economy that has been stored up for a while. I think we even see it at our local level like we do in the big cities.
No, it's out there, and it's certainly reflecting here, and we're seeing it. No question. And people moving here for all sorts of reasons, as you know. What else is going on down the department that you're getting this stuff going?
Yeah, well, of the permits issued last month, 22 of them were for new single-family houses.
And tell me how that compares to other months or something.
The month
22.
prior was 23.
Okay, a year ago, what would it have been?
17.
5 years ago, what would it have been?
5 years would have been quite a few. I don't have the statistics.
10 years ago, 2008, what would it have been? 2. None? 0? I mean, there were some years you didn't have any, right?
And I actually have the statistics on our website dating all the way back. I could go back to the 50s with the statistics monthly for permits issued.
So 22 single family
So you saw
issued last month.
Okay, all right.
You probably saw a dip in 09, 10, when it really fell off the cliff there. But up to that point, there was still a lot of activity left over from the surge.
All right. What are the 3? But it's uneven. I mean, across Jackson County. If you issued 22 of them, there were 85 new homes that sold in the previous 3 months.
Through the MLS.
85 of them. And the majority, like 2/3 of them, were in 3 areas, which is East Medford. Surprise there?
Nope.
I mean, the Mahars, they're selling houses as fast as they can build them over there in the southeast Medford. Eagle Point, no surprise there. Eagle Point's going to be the biggest city, certainly one of these days, because it has so much land in the city already. It's already in their urban reserve compared to Medford and other places. The third place is Southwest Medford. Yeah. And that's your area.
Yeah.
Well, we heard it yesterday. 21 new ones last week that Deidre and Nick Ripson they're doing.
Yeah, they're doing that
as an example.
Between Kings Highway and Peach Street.
Yeah.
They've kind of punched through to a big open place right there where they're going to put in those 21 units. And the activity around South Medford High School, Pete, has been pretty robust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alongside the baseball and softball fields at the southwest corner of that property, just used to be kind of an open field there. And Bob Fellows has put in at least 10, maybe 12 houses along there, and a little cul-de-sac that goes back from there. So even right around the high school, they're filling in those open spaces that have just kind of languished in Southwest Medford and other places. And I don't think that a lot of this is, as Brad Bennington refers to as the cheap dirt that was scooped up when it was foreclosed on and all. I think a lot of this is new opportunities that are coming into fruition since the market turned and came back around.
Okay, in those areas you're right. But if you go into Talent, 0. No new construction. Jacksonville, 0. Let's see, Northwest Medford, 0. 1, Shady Cove. I mean, so it's so uneven It's really in the places that there is available land and developments going on, isn't there? It's really showing, and of course, prices for new construction continue to go up 15%. From a year ago in new construction, which is higher than the regular sales. Wow!
You're right. Eagle Point has a staggering amount of room to grow into. that is really kind of pressures like talent and some of those smaller cities like Jacksonville. They don't have a lot of room, and the room they do have to expand is hard to come by and takes top dollar if you want to get in and have a go at it.
I remember when Eagle Point added all that 2,400 acres, got added into that city. I mean, it's in the city.
Yeah.
And that's where you're seeing construction go as it goes around. Of course, it's another story about what we're building and those kinds of things, and it really doesn't matter. The point being, Kimberly, is that you're seeing a lot of this activity, aren't you?
Right. There was 28 applications for new houses last month also.
And is it all single family? Tell us what they are. Are they all the same kind of thing? Is that what they put in for?
I just did this. There's a lot of remodeling and additions going on right now. Of course, pools are still kicking. Quite a few pool permits. It's the season for pools. It's the season for construction and home improvements. Summer's beginning. The weather's better. People want to get the stuff done. 9 multifamily applications last month.
Okay, multifamily, are these duplexes, triplexes, what?
Yeah, they're more than 3 units.
Yeah. More than 3 units.
Yeah, they're mostly like 8plexes, 12plexes.
Really?
Yeah, they're larger. Units.
That is a good indication because
that is a gold mine out there. Boy, we need that multifamily housing. We need those. We need those places for people to live.
But it's what they're doing. I mean, it's what they're building.
Well, they're not doing what you want them to do.
No, this is good. No, I like this because you need to have larger 4, 5, 6, 8 unit complexes. That's efficient housing. I mean, so that's good to hear. Okay, what else is
we've
going on?
We've had some more of that in Southwest Medford just recently. There's some new ones that are just about to come onto the market. They're part of some continuing development in that respect there.
We have, of course, there's a 12,000 square foot shoe store going in at the mall.
Well, we're going to talk about commercial here after a break. Break coming up there. You hold that thought there. Back to just the housing here.
Just the housing,
So I'm glad to hear that is going on. Okay, so it is the time. You're right. Pool time, people touring time, remodeling time.
I'd say that's consumers'
lots of
confidence in the economy and in their ability now to have the money. Maybe
and
maybe they got a little tax break. I don't know.
It's also homeowners stepping up and increasing the value of their properties. I think that's what we're really seeing, and that's a good thing.
And I think some of them have some maybe homeowners equity, a little line of credit that they can work with because they've got equity in their property to invest in their property. And all right, it's good for the future, but it's great to live in now too.
We're talking with Kimberly London from the City of Medford's Building Department here on the Real Estate Show. Got a break coming up here. We're coming right back, and Kimberly, we're going to talk about all the commercial activity going on around here. Look, the exits. Hey, what's going on there? We got a break coming up. The Real Estate Show continues after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Real Estate Show on KCMX News Media 880. Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you here today, mid-May. Building Safety Month. The Building Department of the City of Medford has a big open house coming up on Tuesday, May the 29th, 2 to 4 p.m. They got goodies and all sorts of things that Kimberly London, our guest today, has been planning for some time here, drawn attention to building safety. And that's really the important part because it is something that so many times we just take for granted where we're at and what we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, we do.
All right, you got goodies planned there and everything?
Oh,
what else?
We'll have cake. I'm going to have the history of the building department.
Yeah. Now, you brought something with you. I just want to show people, what's interesting, if you look for things, Jackson County started keeping track of building permits. I think it was in 1975.
Correct.
But the City of Medford goes back to when?
To 1913.
1913, right.
October 27th.
Yeah. And this is what you got there, the first one.
This is the very first building permit.
What was it and how much was it and everything?
It was...
Here you go. Talk into there. There you go. That's okay.
It was
Joe, why don't you hold... Joe, we'll have Joe hold that
you
up
can
for a
hold
second.
it, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
It was a commercial building at the corner of East Main and Almond.
Okay.
It burned down in 1957.
Okay.
But it was $600 to construct that whole strip between Cottage and Tripp Street, I believe.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, down there. Okay.
Where the Minute Market, there's a couple Minute Markets. There was a gas station, salon.
And that was the first one, 1913. So do you have, okay.
I'll grab a photo of these so we can
Okay.
pop them
Okay.
into the show. You can get a better look than we can give them right
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the city of Medford have actual records, complete record of every permit in the city since 1913? Is that true?
Well, I don't.
Oh, okay.
They didn't start. I brought the little book with me, our very first book.
Okay.
They decided in
Notice it.
probably 1921 that they needed to start keeping record of the permits.
Okay.
So at permit number 1,274, they decided, okay, we need to start logging this. And the logging started out a little bit sparse, where they just put the person's name and the permit number. And then
Yeah.
as we go through the book to 1936, it starts adding the people's name, what they were doing. There were sign permits back then.
Oh, okay.
There were,
Oh.
new houses, new
Well,
commercial
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah.
See, we had permits even
Yeah,
back then.
mechanical retrofits.
Yeah, what's interesting, I looked at the permits were $1.50. Okay,
Yeah.
That's what they cost then.
And the beauty of it, I mean, this looks like an old book, and these
Yeah.
beautiful handwritten
I
entries
know.
in here
Yeah.
are just
Yeah.
amazing to look at.
When did it become computerized? I mean, when did it all
We-
get turned over?
Okay, so
And have
computerization.
you scanned all this stuff, by the way?
No.
Not to me, a lot of it. You
It
have.
will be scanned.
Eventually.
From
Okay.
1962 to current, I have available, accessible permit history. We became computerized in 1996, really starting to use it for permits in 97.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you have
that's
something
20
built in 97 or you're looking for something after 97, it is available online on the City of Medford's website. I do want to say that there is a glitch in the City of Medford's website for looking up stuff right now. People are unable to pay for permits. They're working on fixing it. We do not have an ETA, but you can still look up permit history or email us to get that
Okay.
information.
Do you remember back in the day, Joe, when cities would tout one-stop permitting? Do you remember all that kind of
sure.
thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
Absolutely.
reality? Is it really?
Well,
Okay.
on Wednesdays
Okay, Wednesday.
today,
Okay,
from
Wednesdays.
it's available 1 to 4. We have something called express or over-the-counter permit, where pools, like say you want to put in a pool or you want to do an addition to your house that's less than 500 square feet, you can come down Wednesday afternoon. And I do have the planners available and the engineering department available to review your plans and issue the permit.
Okay.
So there is still the one stop for specific projects, like little projects, like say you want to put in a beauty salon and it was a business before and you want to add
Yeah.
shampoo bowls and stuff. That's something that qualifies for Wednesday.
Well, I've learned from you now over several years. First of all, don't be afraid to go down to your department. I've really learned that 'cause I've even been in there for
Yep.
clients. And first of all, it's great. You guys are really good service. But I guess don't be afraid to go down and ask them questions if you're thinking about doing something, because you don't want to get off onto the wrong foot with it. And you may or may not need what you think you may or may not need. I
Right.
mean, that's the thing that gets you, right? Isn't that
And
true?
don't listen to what your realtor tells you that you need.
Because they really
Talk to
don't
the
know
building
either
department.
for a
Yeah.
pool permit. I don't know. Pool
We have an
permits.
idea, but we always tell our clients, unless we go and do it on their behalf, to make sure that you do that and that due diligence.
We'll
It's
come
really
down
important.
with them.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and
That
meet
is
and
ideal.
go over
Yes.
what our expectations are of
Yeah.
the conversion or
Yeah.
stuff with or without permits, what does or does not need permits.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to sell your home, there's a lot of like the flipping shows and stuff that are really popular right now.
Well, they
But-
are, and a lot
Yeah.
of people who are buying and selling watch those shows too.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You still need full permits,
Mm-hmm.
and if there's intent to rent, sell, or lease it, I have to have a licensed electrician and plumber.
You're right.
Yeah.
The code's black and white on that.
Yeah.
And what's the other thing that we've also learned is you need to have a licensed contractor do your work, and
Yeah.
you had better because you're licensed and bonded.
Yep.
And if you don't, you take the risk yourself.
You do.
And that's something I guess.
Sometimes it doesn't save you money.
Well, no.
In the long run.
you're going to
When it
get it,
comes
because when you
back
go
and
back to
bites
sell it
you.
and you don't have the permit, they're going to
Or
come
it's-
down over here they're going to look in Kimberly's book over here, and if you don't have that permit, it's going to cost you money, especially if you're trying to sell your house.
Or the home inspector
Sure.
will find it as you go to sell. He'll
Yeah.
find anything
Yeah.
that's hinky in there. Trust me.
My
guys.
favorite
Look.
story, the favorite thing that I've heard from Kimberly is all the garage conversions. That
Yeah.
seems to be a
Yeah.
big thing with so many people, and you need a permit to
Yep.
do that.
You do.
Yeah.
And if you don't, when you go to sell it, what happens? You got to change it, right?
either, I mean, the thing with it is it's not conditioned space. It's not approved to live in.
To live in.
Yeah, so if you just slap up some sheetrock and put your bedroom out there, do I still have my egress? I mean, how about my heating? Is it heating my minimum, 4 foot high at 68 degrees code requirements? Is it the minimum size? Do I have my smoke detectors? And mostly a lot of people aren't insulating the ceiling, the floor, and the walls correctly.
Right.
You're paying more on your utility bills. You're not really saving in the long run.
And you could go use your garage for a room if you want to,
sure.
right?
We've
but it's
learned
when you
that.
go to sell it.
Right.
It's when you go to do something with it.
Or if
right?
you're a buyer and you wonder, if you buy the property in that condition, then you can rectify it, though, and you can bring it up to snuff. Just be aware of what it's going to take.
Correct. It's not just drilling a little hole and looking inside. I just had that happen.
That's what I would do. Well, I could fix that. I could fix all of that stuff you mentioned.
I convert it back to a garage. It saved me more money than trying to go get a permit.
And maybe for your value as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want that. Anyway, I'm just saying that it's one of those issues that come up and you see.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get burned on that. And other things as well, but that's one of the biggest, I think, is
the garage conversions and the porches.
And porches.
Back porches are enclosed to extend dining rooms, living rooms, add another bathroom.
Okay.
So that occurs a lot also. Or attic. It was just attic space. And a lot of the older homes, they did have permanent stairs to the upstairs storage.
Right.
And it was sheetrocked, but it was strictly storage.
Yeah.
It was not recognized as habitable space. And sometimes I just don't have my ceiling height, and the stairs don't meet minimum code to be considered habitable.
Right. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of what about I've seen a lot of porches going in that are enclosed, just for like
sunroom.
Sunrooms.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that. Is that you get to permit for that too? Probably, I would think.
That's a yes and a no.
That's
a yes and no. That one's a little bit in the gray area. Okay. They did just pass the state where they want to have it conditioned somewhat as far as insulation and stuff, but that one you need to come in. Okay. You may or may not need a permit. I might just put a note in the file that says it's an enclosed.
I've seen a lot of those sunrooms. You can call them sleeping porches. You can put all sorts of different things with that, with screens. And anyway, I've seen a lot of those around.
I'm going to have a sleeping porch when I'm my later years.
It's pretty nice. So those are the permit things that are happening right now. We know that's a lot of activity in the. In the residential, obviously, in Jackson County and stuff. Talk about a little bit about the commercial part of things.
Okay.
I mean, the two Medford interchanges and out Highway 62, for example.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't know what's going on. But those are just what's going on there.
Well, lots of food and retail. The mall, as I said, is getting a 12,000 square foot shoe store.
The mall, the Rogue Valley Mall.
The Rogue Valley Mall. And actually, they're getting a lot more exciting things, but they're just...
That's a lot of shoes.
That's a lot of shoes.
I know. I'm super excited.
Well, I've been reading, where Sears, for example, in large malls...
Medford Center.
They've taken a lot of their large stores and they've converted them into smaller Sears stores and now have 2 or 3 other retail stores with them as well.
Yeah.
I thought that retail was supposed to be dead. Isn't that what everyone says? Amazon's taking over the world, but yet we're just building, it seems like, more and more and more retail. And is that?
I'm seeing a lot of retail.
Is it?
Well, I want to go touch stuff.
You like that?
I want to try on stuff. I mean, you may see something online and you buy it and it's like, oh my goodness sakes, why did I do that?
All right. So what's happening at the North Interchange, exit 30?
Exit 30. What's going on over there?
The old Medco place. I mean,
we're going to get another Arby's kind of over there.
Really?
So Arby's, fast food.
Okay.
There's some other smaller venues going in over there. Most of it's happening more closer to exit 27.
South.
Yeah, I mean, I do have, of course, the Chick-fil-A has applied for permits at the Northgate Business Park.
They're busy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's metal framing going up on all those
that's
buildings.
the dialysis center,
Right,
DaVita Dialysis, and we're also Stanton Optical is going in at that location. Lots of medical, but we are going to have the one little, Chick-fil-A. It's out. I'm going to say probably a year.
Okay.
But they have applied for permits.
All right.
They are not in review yet, so it's kind of premature.
To your point, dialysis, The other one, those are not retail outlets per se.
No,
Those
they're
are
medical.
They're positioning themselves to meet our growing demand. We're the regional medical hub and center for Southern
So
Oregon
there's
and Northern
obviously
California.
still a draw
Boy,
to come in here
do
with,
they
Yes.
with
do they
business.
see an ability to be an auxiliary to, and do we need them and their services as we continue to grow and more people continue to come to Medford to,
So that's
to
a
get these
lot. What
services.
you're talking about, a lot of mixed use on buildings. What anything else
Lots of medical, and we have
Okay.
excellent medical here
Well,
in
yeah,
the Rogue
no, yeah,
Valley.
absolutely,
and
no.
they're always keeping up to date, and they're always remodeling.
They always remodel and redo.
Absolutely.
They're like hospitals are like airports, aren't they?
Yeah.
They just keep building and moving and
Well,
shaking.
they
and
kinda
shaking.
have to.
They just do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just do that.
Well, to keep up with federal guidelines and standards
Yeah.
and
Yep.
stuff like that, they do. So they keep us going. And schools.
And
Well,
technology that
Yeah, the
changes.
schools keep us going
Well,
also.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
It's-
And they want to build more.
Yeah.
And it's okay around those interchanges to develop the way they are. That's what they're for. I mean,
Sure.
it's a good place to go. It keeps people on the freeways back off, so it's not all bad. There's a lot of activity certainly going on. We got a break coming up here. We're with Kimberly London from the City of Medford's Building Department today on the Real Estate Show. One more segment to go, and we're coming right back to KCMX right after this. And welcome back to the Real Estate Show here on KCMX News Media 880. Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you, along with Kimberly London from the City of Medford's Building Department, talking permitting, buildings, commercial activity. You name it, Kimberly probably knows about it because that's what you do. Isn't that?
Nothing gets done without her.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's good. Anyway, want to give you a couple of things. The City of Medford has the building department has May is Building Safety Month, the 29th of May, Tuesday, 2 to 4 p.m. at their department down at City Hall in the annex, right? You're in the upstairs.
Actually, we're going to be in the Prescott room at the new police station.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been in there.
No,
I bet that's
I
pretty
know.
nice, isn't that? Okay.
Yeah.
With refreshments to go on the 29th. I want to also tell you about the Medford Earth Angels Foundation, which is a foundation of realtors out of John L. Scott, Medford and Ashland offices. They have a Father's Day raffle. It's a grand prize of over $500. Tickets are 1 for $10 or 3 for $25. And we've got them. If you're interested, you can find any John L. Scott agent. We'll sell you some. That's one of the coolest foundations around because it started by Jimmy DiLoretto at John L. Scott, and agents have taken that and run with it, and it provides amazing support throughout the year, really, around the valley. Anyway, okay, back here to today. You got more things to show, which is so interesting of Medford. Okay, what's this now, Kimberly, we're looking at?
This is a certificate of occupancy from 1963 and a photo of Safeway on West Main.
I see this.
And
Safeway,
then
yeah.
a certificate of occupancy for the probation building.
Okay,
It
now
was
why are those
demoed.
significant? What's
Well,
significant
it's just a
about
before
those?
and after.
Okay.
I love history. I
Uh-huh.
like history stuff. If you own an older home or just want to know the history of even like a commercial building, I was helping someone
Uh-huh.
look up the history of a commercial building. They thought it was a gas station, and I did have permits for removing
Yeah.
gas tanks at one point.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
had
but
that
it was a
permit for
Far
that.
West
Yeah.
bank. It was built
Yeah.
as a bank.
History buffs will love this at the open
Yes.
house.
Okay.
Trust me.
Now what is
Yeah.
this? What is this about
This
here?
is from my very first permit book. It's permits from 1921 to 1938.
Okay.
And I just snapped some photos of houses. I put what permit number they were and how much
Oh,
it cost
okay.
to construct them.
Okay, so those are back in the day. Those are in
Beautiful homes for
Yeah.
pre-1920. Holy smokes.
those are both in East and West Medford. It looks like.
Yes.
Queen Anne, Vancouver,
Yeah,
East
yeah.
Maine. Yeah.
Well, there's lots of those. That's kind of cool thing. there.
Winchester, Mount
Yeah.
Pitt. We have all sorts of history on the older streets.
All right.
Yeah.
So right back to the permits. Again, as we go into this busy season.
Yeah.
Now, the City of Medford's. You just do City of Medford. Now, what if you live in the
Correct.
county or in Central Point or other places? Where do they go to get this stuff, or how do those places, people in those areas,
Sure.
go?
The city of Central Point is actually located at City Hall.
Okay, so
or
they
right
have their
by
own
City
building
Hall.
department,
They do
like-
have their own
okay.
building department. And
Let's
Jackson
see.
County is at 10 South Oakdale.
So you go to the courthouse there, to the building department there. All right.
Down to the base. They're down in the basement.
Yeah, down the yeah, okay.
Mhm. And they cover, Jackson County, Shady Cove,
Yeah.
outlying areas
Yeah.
like Old Stage Road even though you have a Medford address, you're not in the
Yeah.
city limits of Medford,
Yeah.
so you're Jackson
And-
County.
And remember one thing, Joe. I forget. I think it was the county assessor who was here or something. One thing to remember: if you get a permit pulled from the city or anywhere, remember that is actually picked up by the
Right.
assessor's office,
Sure.
right? And they're going to take that and physically come right and inspect what was done. Isn't that right?
They do. They follow the construction and they assess it based off of how far you are in your construction.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where those go, and that's where that information
And
comes
that's
from.
how your assessed value gets.
That's how you're
assessed.
and that's how it changes.
Your new value.
Right,
Sure.
that's how it may change.
Right.
So it's certainly, for new construction, it's going to be
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
But even for the permits that are given. So if you're adding a pool, you're adding value to your property, right? That's going to be
Yes.
constructed. That's going to go to the county. They're going to come and see it. They're going to assess it, and you may have a different value,
Yes.
right? You may or may not.
Same with your
I don't
garage
know.
conversion.
The garage
It's now
conversion,
habitable space.
the same way with the porch that you
Yes.
talked about earlier,
Yeah.
and whatever. All those things combine to do that. All right. So it's just that don't get caught. The big advice is just don't get caught. Go down and get the information and do it right.
Yep.
Because we always say you think you're going to people think they're going to get away with it, I should say, at the beginning, but in the end you're still going to have to pay at the end. Right?
Well,
when
or
you
it's,
sell it or you don't
gonna
take care
come
of
back. I mean, what if
Come
there's
back
an
to haunt you.
accident or an insurance
Yeah.
claim or
Yep.
something like that,
Yeah.
or you're in escrow and then someone calls out and you've sold that as habitable square footage,
Right.
and
Yeah.
someone's
Right.
purchasing that,
As
with
such,
its
yeah.
is set on having that family room,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, okay, we got to back up. And it's okay for a potential purchaser to buy it like that as long as they're aware of that and it's in the agreement and they understand that it can't just remain non-permitted. It does need to be rectified once we're made aware of
Right.
it.
Once
And
you-
Kimberly has, and we're going to have you tell the email address again, because aside from having to go down to the counter, or even on Wednesdays when you've got the express service and they're all ready for you, lined up for you, you can contact through email and get the ball rolling, get some answers
Sure.
very easily as well.
Yeah, building at cityofmedford.org. Building at cityofmedford.org, or the City of Medford's website.
Right.
If you scroll on the main screen all the way to the bottom, there is a records request form. You could just click it and submit it that way if you're not sure who it goes to.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a
Right.
fire question or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's all available at one stop.
excellent.
I go back to the beginning. We're almost out of time. I go back to the beginning of
Yeah.
the show when you said in April, the City of Medford only, just their building department. We're not
Yes.
talking Jackson County, Ashland, anywhere.
No, City of Medford.
642
Yeah.
permits were issued. 22
Correct.
of those new housing. That means about 600 other permits were pulled for various things in those
Right.
new construction
Right. Sure.
or remodels or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
That's an astounding number. I can imagine
It's
if you
about-
added up all the county, the entire thing,
Sure.
Yeah.
and you go up to the Grants Pass, was the traffic up there, whatever, something's going on there. There's a lot of activity going on
Yep.
in the commercial and in the residential
True, yeah.
area, in the building, in the permitting. Wow.
Yep.
It tells you just how good the economy is right
Yep.
now,
Right,
because
right.
everybody wants to be a part of it. Everybody wants, sees opportunity.
Said we're going to grow.
If you got a place and you
We're
want to
starting to see
improve it, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of it's just a scary thing, and it's exciting all at the same time, isn't
Think
it?
of those new businesses and the jobs that they're going to bring.
Correct.
At the Southgate
Yeah.
businesses down there. Boy,
Yeah.
there are some opportunities that are going to come.
Well, we'll see what happens. That'll do it for the real estate show here this week. Kimberly,
Job, Kimberly.
thanks for joining us. The
Thank you.
29th of May again, 2 to 4
Yes.
p.m. Tuesday at the Prescott Room at the police department.
Yep.
Okay, is where
And
that
don't forget
reception
free permits.
free free
Give me a
permits.
call.
I still think you ought to give away one of those systems development.
She's not
charges.
authorized to do that, Peter.
That's
Darn
right.
it.
That's right.
That would have been a good. That would have been a good thing. Now, next week here on the Real Estate Show, Guy Giles will have a program on mortgage interest rates and the latest of what's going on with those things. This last week, they were that range of 30-year fixed mortgage rates were 4.6 to around 5.7. It depends on your credit scores of what you're going to get with those things, but those haven't raised for a while, so that's a good thing. Anyways, all of our shows are available at realestateshoworegon.com. Some great shows last week. I loved with the Ripsons, Deidre and Nick, a young couple who are just, I love their spirit and entrepreneurship. they're going to be very successful, because they work hard. It's just that works,
That's the way it should work, right?
I enjoyed that show as well. So we got great shows coming up as well. So please stay with us, and of course you can check them all out at realestateshoworegon.com. Of course, if you need any real estate advice, Joe or I are also able to help you do that as well. So, Kimberly, nice to visit with you again. We'll see you soon. Today's show is presented by the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors. Check them out at roguevalleyrealtors.org. For Pete Belcastro, Joe Brett, great to visit with you. Have a great week, everybody. God bless you all. We'll see you next Saturday right back here on The Real Estate Show.